All right, everybody. Welcome to the morning live trading session. And I hope everyone had a great weekend. Jim's just talking with the coder, fixing a couple things with the new features we're bringing on, and then he'll be right back on soon. So, in the meantime, I'm just going to go ahead and get us started here. Let's take a look at Forex Factory. And wrong day. There you go. So you can see this morning, last night, there's high pound news. It might have caused a little movement in the pound, but not a lot. And then this morning, in about 2 hours at 9 a.m., there's ISM Manufacturing PMI. Might cause some movement, but probably not a ton. And then we have the Australian building approvals. And looks like the expected numbers looks to be pretty bad. But normally doesn't cause the market to move too much. But then you have a cash rate for the Australian dollar along with the statement. So that should cause some good movement tonight. Of course, fundamentals would tell us that if the rate stays the same, that the currency normally strengthens a little bit. But again, that's what fundamentals would tell us. That's not what always happens. So that's what we have for the day. And then the currency algorithm just was refreshed about 20 minutes ago. And looks like the pound is by far the weakest. -7s down the board. And the Australian dollar is, along with the CAD, is the strongest. So let's hop over here. And as you can see, the pound dollar, pound Aussie, and the pound CAD, you would want to short or probably weak right now. So let's, didn't mean to do that, but oh well. So let's go to the currency here, and we'll pull up our trading view. For those of you that are new, this is trading view. I know there might be some new people on here. This is what the cloud-based platform that we use to draw our charts out. You can log in anywhere in the world from a device, and you can look at your charts. It doesn't have to be on one computer. Let's look at the pound Aussie and the pound CAD. And I'd bet those both are moving short. Yep, there's a pound Aussie. Bigger time frame here. And it's making a pretty good move short right now. Market opened right here yesterday, roughly. No, wait. Take that back. Yeah, market moved here yesterday. There's a gap. Came up, closed the gap. And since it did that, it's moved down 175 pips. So as Jim would normally do, we could go to lower time frame here. And because of the algorithm, because of how weak this is, we could put on a short. Oops. Short position here. And just go for a 1-to-1, see what happens. I mean, you can pull it down to the 5-minute here. Looks like a pretty good push down, so I don't really know if there's much for pullbacks. I mean, the pound does move quite a bit normally, but I mean, this right here is. So what you could probably do is bring this down a little bit if you're just going for a 1-to-1. Account for the spread. And this could be your 1-to-1 trade. Well, it doesn't go break this high. Then we also can look at the pound CAD. Again, you see I have to open up these charts because I don't really look at these pairs much. Trades on. Loading. Okay. Don't know why this is taking a bit to load. Try to reload it. The pound CAD doesn't load them. There we go. Well, it looks like with the pound, all the pound pairs look like they have a gap. Which normally gaps close, but again, we don't know when. It could close today, this week, it could close next month. Not very trustworthy. As you can see here, this pair still has a gap because the market closed right at around market closed at about 170.06. Opened up way down here, about 80 pips down. And it only came up to here, which still was about 20 pips from closing the gap. So, as you can see, the push down I made here. And let's go to a 5-minute, do a little currency algorithm as well, and see how that pans out. This right here was probably but if we wanted to put on a short position, this one didn't push down as hard as the pound Aussie, it looks like. So we could pull back here a little bit. I mean, because the pound pairs do move a little bit more than normal pairs, we can make this little, I know the currency strength algorithms are normally a little smaller, but this is still, you know, almost a 50 pip take profit that it has to hit, but the pound pairs move better. I mean, I know I could make this much more aggressive and have it sitting right here, but the pound pairs, especially in FX Glory, they probably have like, they probably have like a 7 pip or a 10 pip spread, which is crazy. So that's not really, I mean, right now you're only allotting yourself roughly 20 pips. So if you get in a pound pair, you're already down at least 7 pips. Well, outside of the pound dollar. You're already down 7 pips. So that wouldn't be a very good idea to have that tight of a trade. So that's why we're going to take it back up here. And if there's normally 7 pip, right now we're at 68.77. Let's take it up to about 68.87. Bring this down just a little bit more. And there's our 2 1-to-1 trades. We'll see how those pan out. But Jim, you still good now, or are you still working on that?
No, good.
Okay, I'll give you back the screen.
All right.
I'm sure you've been paying attention, or you've kind of been listening a little bit, right? We put on 2 algorithm trades because of the strengths of them.
Sounds good.
At the end, you can give them the screen. We can see how they look.
All right. Let's go to normal trading and then dollar index for the week. Start on a bigger time frame. Looks like it's going to come down of some type of move down. So I'm anticipating it to go down. It can still go up though, because it's inside of this flat. So this is what we're going to end up getting. Right now you have an A, B, and a C. That's why we're anticipating this is another A, B, and C of some type. This can still go up like this and then drop. So pay attention to this. If this starts breaking this trend line and giving you sell setups, we're going to anticipate it coming to this trend line and then also going through it. And then we got to see what happens when it comes to this low. Because then this could end up just being a regular flat of some type, and then this would be your A, your B, and it could be a bigger C. But either way, this is it looks like a nice sell setup. There's not a really buy setup on this yet, so we're still anticipating that for the dollar index. So if that's going down, EURUSD will be going up. Right now we have some consolidation at the trend line. So if this starts to break, gives you a close outside of this, a 1 hour close outside, and you get a couple of 15-minute sideways or leading candles, you could take a long on that. This first trade necessarily isn't the one we want to catch. We want to catch if it breaks this. If it breaks this, that'd be a good trade to take. It breaks that and consolidates. Because by that time, that dollar index will have made its move out of this. So we'll know more information. So go to this in a bigger time frame. This could be just a bigger impulse, a correction, and an impulse. Right now, as it is, we are inside of, well, actually, we're inside of this impulse, and we're inside of this impulse. So what I mean by that is this impulse high and low has not been broke, so it's just still all corrective of this impulse. And then all this correction is inside of, inside of this high and this low. So I mean we're inside of two impulses. So right now it's still in the middle of nowhere. I won't take the trade, but based on the setup of the dollar index of setting up short, the EURUSD to me would be setting up for a long. Because in here you had some type of 1, 2, 3 with that flat in the middle. And now you got a 1, 2, and looking for some type of 3-wave movement. Pound dollar. So pound dollar did break. So our trend line moved from here. When this broke this low, our trend line moved up here. Let's go back to the bigger time frame. Not that big. So now the next thing you have to do is watch as it comes to this low like it did, because now this could bounce and go up, and then this just becomes a bigger flat. Now this trade right here is one we don't want to miss. If and when this happens, make this looser. If and when this happens, we don't want to miss this trade. You want to catch this trade. When it breaks this, when this trend line's broke and consolidates, we want to catch this. Why? Because right now we're getting divergence. We have crossover. You have internal divergence. You have divergence on a 4 hour. If you go to the 1 hour, you have continuous divergence. We have this big push low, another low, MACD's falling off, another low, MACD's still lower. So we have divergence here on the hour. So that's what, if this breaks and consolidates, this is going to be your best trade. Right now, taking a short down here, I wouldn't take this. This isn't really very interesting. This trade right here would be great. Because if it breaks that trend line, consolidates in here, you could take it inside of the consolidation when it looks like it might be done, and place your stop below a low. Target a 1-to-1 or a 1-to-2 up here higher. But that's looking like the best trade. Sometime this week that could happen. This is only an hour chart, so maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, this trade could trigger. and that falls in line if with the dollar index. If the dollar index goes down, this pound dollar has a good shot of going long up here, and this is a good setup if that happens. Aussie dollar. I don't know if anybody's in this one yet, or if everybody saw last night. And I remember, Spence, we were talking about this, that buy setup I was putting up. So
Yeah,
everybody saw that.
yeah, I got out of it because it definitely was a buy setup that I was showing, but I don't know how I will go.
Yep. So now we have divergence. Right, you can see the divergence. See, this is a higher high, higher high. The MACD's falling off. So if we get a break of this trend line and consolidation of some sort that confirms the short, then we'll look for a short. There's a chance it could continue to go up because, as you saw, the dollar index. Let's go back up the time frame. But to take any longs, you'd want it to get above here and consolidate and then continue to go. And then this little move could end up being its only correction, and this ends up being our first wave up. So our impulse, little correction, which actually this might be your expanding flat before it goes. Otherwise, we're anticipating it being a 1, 2, 3 wave movement of some sort. So again, you don't have a buy setup. Your buy setup would have been when it broke here. The buy would have been at the break here. Or if it gives you another nice flag here, maybe you get another buy. As soon as it comes up here, though, make sure you move to break even because we have divergence. Your sell setup again is the break and consolidation, and look for the short. And as it approaches this low down here, move to break even wherever you get in at. NZD dollar really hasn't done anything since that first big push down we caught last week, or might have been the end of the week 2 weeks ago. So this is all still just in consolidation. This isn't the trading we want. So this could go either way yet. We have some type of ending pattern in here. I haven't looked at this very closely yet. So keep an eye on that, see what that does, if we get a break either way. So again, we want it to break, close outside, give it some type of leading candles, or a flag would be best, and then you take another short. Breaks above. Again, you want to close, some type of leading candles, or close a flag, and then we take it to go test this high. And as it moves to this high, move your stop to break even. As it approaches this trend line, move your stop to break even and see if we're going to break it. Because it could hit here and bounce up and give you one more, and ends up being this impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse. So that's why we move to break even when we get here. But it could also then just break it and keep going. So I think it'll do one more short, but I could be wrong. This is just, you know, people say, oh, I have the feeling, you know, we don't want to go by those. But I guess I'm looking at it as this. If this is a WXYXZ, I want this X wave to be similar to this one. And if that's so, it's got a little bit more, at least probably one more push short in it. It's getting close though. Dollar CAD. Dollar CAD is ready to come down, especially if that dollar index goes short. This thing should finally come short and break down to this trend line. It's already trying to. And we do have our impulse correction. Impulse, some type of divergence between these 2 points. You see the MACD is falling off. 4R will probably show it better. Yeah, there's the 4R. So that's why we're getting some type of break. Wish this would have been down here a little farther. But right now, this is short down to this trend line. If you're going to look for sell setups down to this trend line, especially if that dollar index again goes short, this is going to go short. So keep an eye on the dollar index this week. You even set like a alert here. Look to short the dollar. My computer, man, I gotta get a new one. So now I get a text message when the dollar index breaks, and I can go look for some setups on those other pairs. Dollar yen. Right now it's giving a sell setup. It's playing right into our fifth wave, this E wave of that bigger move. Remember the A, B, C, D, E. So if that breaks, if this gets up here and breaks, that could be a very nice trade, or maybe it doesn't even get up there because this trend line looks like we're coming. Maybe it doesn't get up there. So I'd keep an eye on this one for the sell setup. Dollar index goes short. This could be a very good trade short as well. But I would think this dollar yen is going to do something soon, because now we're getting to that confluence point, or different words people use for it, but basically it's coming to a point where it's going to have to do something one way or the other. Coming to the end of the pattern, it's squeezing down. So if this is a true A, B, C, D, E, the impulse that comes after that 5-wave movement is a continuation of that short. Euro yen, same thing. Still looking for that short. I don't really see it. Trades on it now though. That's pretty ugly to trade in. Wait for that to move and get a better read on it. Pound yen, same type of pattern as the dollar yen. So again, we're waiting for it to break this low and give us sell setup to take any sells. Right now, you could look for a possible buy setup on this. If that happens, let's go to a 15-minute. See, it closed its gap. It's good. No trade on that one right now. Euro NZD, flat across the board here. This is making some type of flat. Aussie yen. All those yen pairs to me look like they're ready to go. I mean, if anybody else can see these, you got the big Brexit move, the consolidations in all of them. Let's go back to the dollar yen. They're all relatively the same. NZD yen's looking like another short brewing. If this one were to break short, it could be a good short. You need to have some type of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave movement. But we do have divergence. Let's go to see this low is lower than this one. So also keep an eye if it breaks it and consolidates, we could go back long. But it's looking like a nice sell setup right now. So to recap, and I'll try to remember to post these, dollar index, we're looking for it to break short. Doesn't mean it can't continue to go up here a little bit. If that happens, Euro USD this week, gonna look for longs. Pound dollar, gonna look for longs, but not until it breaks this trend line and consolidates. It could be a nice trade. I'll be definitely keep an eye on that one for a break. Aussie dollar could break down, come short again, or it can get above this and give you another high. And we'll see if it challenges this high right here. To break that high is very possible. And then the bigger correction ends up being a B, and a C if it does it. And then once that breaks that high, we should have some nice trading down. Then we'll have our impulse, our 1, 2, 3 correction, and next impulse 270 of this bigger impulse, which should take us somewhere probably down in here. I suppose we can put the fib on and take a look at it. So I went up to the week to see the full impulse. All right, here's your full impulse. So here's the top of it right here. So we put our fib on the top, bottom, and our 270 is right there. So this could be some good trading short. So either way, there's not a lot of up potential in the Aussie dollar. There's more down potential. We will see. Because we do have divergence on the weekly. Or do we? Yep. So this MACD's a little bit bigger than this one. So we'll have to keep an eye on that too if it breaks the trend line. Could just poke it and come back down. So yeah, it's right at that trend line. So we'll see what it does. It could still give you one more poke and come back down though. And then your trend line just moves a little bit up. So to take any longs on this, to negate our short, which the short's looking way better, we would need some type of move out like this and then get a deeper consolidation like this for a buy setup to take a long. And then this ends up being a 1, some type of 2, and a 3. But if that plays out, that's going to take a long time. Right now, the short's looking a little bit better. So we'll look for the initial break of this. And then you can see from the MACD at the bottom, we have divergence. So either way, even if this does break, it's going to consolidate down before we go back up. So you have that divergence. So that's what we're anticipating. NZD dollar. Same thing as the Aussie dollar. Looking for this eventually to break and come short. Dollar CAD's ready to break to come short as well. So I look at this. It looks like something should happen. If something happens with oil, this is going to come down. Or if the price of oil goes up, this is going to come down because the CAD's economy is based on a lot on oil. So that's when the price of oil was tanking and gas was getting so cheap. Was it when this was happening? This was taking up, up, and up, and up, and up, and up, and up. But this looks very corrective, so somehow this is going to come down. I don't know what's going to drive it, but something's going to cause this to go down. Dollar yen, still waiting on that. Anticipating one more low, and then this to come back up. Will be a good trade when it goes to starts to go back up. This here looks very similar to this, doesn't it? Get the A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D, E, and continued back long. So that's the continuation pattern. So the trades this morning, I don't see any nice ones. The best trades would have been that Aussie dollar last night long. That little 15-minute flag. So again, I don't see anything much right now. Spence, do you see anything right now?
No. I mean, that Aussie dollar, even last night, ever since it broke the high at 76.70, it's only
It's been
gone
struggling.
another 11 pips. So before it's starting to drop again. So it's really not moving hardly at all.
Yep, but dollar CAD, that could be maybe a good one if you can get a sell setup of some kind. I don't know, right now I think if you take a trade, you might be forcing it a little bit.
Yeah, if you take a trade Monday, it better be a good trade, like a solid setup, because Mondays are normally really slow. The market just waking up from what we've seen.
Yeah. Let's see who's all on here. We got a marker. Okay. The EA should have that LT today, or not today. Sorry, this week.
Yeah.
I got some licensing lined up for it. I was just talking to the coder, and um, he should have the first version done today. Right now, this is the beta version. There are already some bugs, but this week we should get this out to you. I got a lot of videos we got to do. Just a lot of people don't know how to use MetaTrader on the computer, much less load an EA and then run it. So bear with me as I get some of that out. I just don't want to. I could hand it out now, but then I know I'd get inundated with a bajillion questions, and try to avoid that. So we'll have some instructional videos coming out, I guess you can call it. That one's up. Um, but it's basically ready. And let's see here. I guess some of the live sessions we might do our setups and then probably just go on teaching this for a little bit to get people up to speed on it. And that way, when people ask questions, you guys can help answer the questions.